So our goal is to try to create our own data set that's going to meet these requirements for these measures of center. So it says the mean has to equal -5, the median is going to equal 2, and the mode is going to equal 0. So I can create a data set with any numbers that I want, with any number of numbers that I want, that would satisfy these 3 measures of center. Now, the first thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to reiterate, is there are so many different possible answers. So sometimes that can be overwhelming in math to think, wait, there's more than one right answer? Yes, there's actually an infinite number of solutions, meaning there's countless numbers of solutions that would work for this data set. So I'm going to show you one way and one solution set, but you can also come up with other solution sets. Okay, so previously we talked about if you're given, say, 3 numbers and you have a 4th missing number and you want a certain mean or average, how to do that. That part is really going to be important before you create your own data set. When I'm creating my own data set, I like to start over here at the median or at the mode. The median is my middle number, so I'm going to put 2 in the middle of my data set. Then I'm going to talk about this mode. Now this mode, I'm going to have 0 and 0. It's really important when you start making your data set that you go ahead and just keep the list of numbers in order from least to greatest. I've seen people as they write their numbers, if they get them out of order, then their organization gets messed up. So far what I have is I have the mode as 0, 0, which is great. Except that messed up my median, because if I look at these 3 numbers, now my median is not 2. So I better add 2 more numbers that are greater than 2, so that the middle number would still be 2. You can pick any 2 numbers you want for this step. I'm going to think simple. Maybe I should just pick 3 and 3. Oh no. If I pick 2 of the same numbers though, that would mess up the mode. The mode, there's already 2 zeros. So that means for all the other numbers, I only want there to be 1 of each of them. Sure, you could add a 3rd 0, and that would give you a whole different answer that could be correct. I'm going to go ahead and put 3 and 4. So the reason I put 3 and 4, I just picked numbers. You could have put 5 and 8. Or 10 and 34. As long as they were 2 numbers that were different from each other and they were greater than 2. Because now what that does is now my median is 2 and my mode is 0, 0. So it's really important to deal with those 2 measures of center first. And then now last we're going to deal with this mean. To find the mean, if I found the mean of these 5 numbers, I would not get -5. So I know I need to add some more numbers. Again, here you have options. You can pick as many numbers that you want to add. I could pick 2 numbers to add over here. I could pick 4 numbers to add. But however many numbers I add on this side, I have to also add them up here because I still want to keep my median as 2. For simplicity, I'm just going to add 1 number here and 1 number here. Again, I'm adding 1 on each side because I want my median to stay in the middle. So I like to deal with then odd numbers because then my median is going to land right at 2. Okay, from here, I have to determine this number before I determine this number. I'm going to pick this number as 5. You'll see why in a little bit, or as you start playing with numbers, why it was really important for me to pick this number first. It's because I know that my mean has to be -5, and then I'm going to have to bring down the measure of center by giving me a really low outlier over here. From here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers in my data set. 1, we just don't know which one it is yet, and we're going to solve for that. So So if I have 7 numbers, I'm going to take my mean and multiply that by 7. That's going to equal the sum of all 7 numbers all together, because I'm working backwards. Normally, to find the mean, the first thing I do is I add up all 7 numbers and I divide by 7. With working backwards, I multiply by 7 to get me negative 35. What that means is I have my mystery number plus 0, plus 0, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5 has to equal negative 35 as my sum. Now you may think that's impossible, but it is not. I'm dealing with my mystery number of question mark, or by all means use a variable, plus 14 has to equal negative 35. Oh my goodness. Look what I have right here. Right here, I have a one-step equation. Now to solve my one-step equation, to get my question mark or my variable isolated, I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides. And I get my question mark has to equal negative 49 for my data set. Again, you're going to have multiple answers. If you had put a different number over here as 5 or a different number 3 and 4, this number would definitely be different. Or you could have made this number negative 102 and then solved for this number. That's sort of the basis of how I go through in creating a data set using the measures of center.